Olivia here. How are you? Welcome to our first yoga session. Today we will need a mat, and I have got myself a cushion. So just grab yourself a pillow, a cushion, a blanket, fold it up enough so that you can come and sit yourself down just onto the very edge of the cushion. So take your time, feel free to pause the video to get yourself set up somewhere warm, somewhere comfortable, with enough space for you to spread your mat out. We'll just be on our mat today. I have with me two dogs sharing my space this morning, so if there's any interruption, it may be from them. But let's just begin into a comfortable seated position. I'll let you set up and making sure that you have lifted that flesh from your sit bones so you can really pull back through your hip space and sit and connect down into the sit bones, allowing yourself to elongate down into the spine. So welcome. When you are ready, get yourself onto your mat and bring yourself onto your cushion for a little bit of height under the hips to lower down through your knees, and we will begin. So let's just pause with our hands into prayer just as people join in for this morning's yoga session. So closing in with your eyes and just allow yourself to observe how you're feeling mentally, physically and emotionally this morning. Remembering that some days you wake up and as much as you want to feel as much gratitude for the world and your place here on this earth, some days just that flow, that ebb is not quite right. So let's see if we can just find out why. Tune into our breath and be kind to ourselves so that we can allow that space to open up, to free up, to be joyous and light. So watch what's happening for you through your breath as you tune into those emotions, the feelings, the physical body. Just allow the breath to calm, to quieten. Now, knowing that we're all mamas, we're all here on this planet with little ones running around, we have to practice what's called in yoga Sanskrit, pratyahara. Pratyahara is removal of the senses. So for me, I've used that a lot when my children were growing up. I've tried to remove the distraction of them in the background. You know, I try and incorporate my children into my practice where I can. But if they're playing and I find that noise distracting, then I have to just try and remove that sense of sound, that sense of them being there, them being present. So for you, wherever you are in your space, you know, practicing yoga, ideally we want a quiet time, but it's not always so. So remember to move into those spaces and just allow it to happen. And to breathe. In through your nose, out through your nose. In through the nose, out through the nose. Noticing any part of the body that's starting to soften with each exhalation. Maybe around the shoulders, your neck space, through the jaw, the facial muscles. Perhaps seated for you in a cross-legged position is not that comfortable, so try and focus on that space and through your hips, your buttocks. And breathe and be comfortable. And just quietly, when you're ready, we'll open your eyes. Hopefully that time you have allowed yourself to settle in, to quieten, to bring yourself to the here and now. And so what we will do is just bring our hands down onto the mat. So we'll spread our fingers wide, spread your arms out down by your side as far away from your body. Oh, that's my dog's legs. So soften through your shoulders and just gently, when you're ready, we're going to lengthen over from side to side. So you may like to just gently draw yourself up and lengthen over. With the hand that's behind, just see if you can tuck it in to the lower back, the small of the back. Inhale up Exhale over, turning your eyes to the arm that's going behind. Now this, depending on your flexibilities, your back, your hips, the whole thing, you may like to keep the arms low, or if you can take the arms over your head. So it's an inhale up and exhale over. Work with the breath. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. So it's still fine to have your arms low. Inhale and exhale. So the next time we'll hold the arms all the way over. So just gently lengthen over. Now our tendency is to really draw up towards the ears. See if you can draw that shoulder down, and you can turn with the eyes to the arm that's above the head. Now if you still have your arms behind, this is absolutely fine. Just encourage that shoulder back so that you can then soften down with the shoulder from the ears, turning your eyes around behind you. So either arm behind or up above, doesn't matter. When you're ready, we'll inhale up over to the other side and just gently lengthen over again, arm behind the back or over above the head. Softening through the shoulders, taking the gaze around behind you. Breathing. And then gently inhale up and exhale down. We're going to bring the hands in front. Soften through your shoulders, so I'll just move myself back a little. We're going to have the hands just in front of your shins, and then just gently lengthen the hands forward. Now you can come as far forward as you like. It may be that you've just gotten here, and that's great. That's not a problem. Just breathe, just soften the shoulders down, and then on each exhalation, you may find you can just lengthen a little bit further forward. So again, this is going to be quite tight for the hips, possibly through our thighs into the knees. So just soften the breath and allow the eyes to then follow down towards your hands. Breathe nice and deeply. So the idea behind breathing in and out through our nose, it allows our body to calm. It creates a deeper belly breath, breathing in and out through your nose. So it actually means that you can calm the mind, calm the body a lot better than if you do breathe through your mouth. So often when we breathe in and out through the mouth, it's a little bit shorter and shallower up into our chest. When we breathe in and out through the nose, we're really able to engage that belly breath. So from here, just gently ease that back off. Sitting up nice and tall. So let's lift up with our knees. See if you can notice what knee or what leg you have in front. Just cross out with the legs. Just lengthen the legs forward. Wherever you are, that's absolutely fine. Just soften through those knees, making sure that you've really lengthened them through the back of the sit bones. Inhale up into the arms. Hinge at the hips as you lengthen forward. So if I was facing the other direction, just for your viewing, I've hinged. So I haven't sort of collapsed into my upper back. I've really lengthened that heart space forward and then lowered my hands wherever, whether it's under the knees, around the calves, around the ankles, just soften through the shoulders. Now I know some of you may be familiar with yoga and some may not. So just bear with me as I talk through slowly some of these postural alignments, because it's really important so that you can get the benefit from each pose. In Yoga Sanskrit, we call the poses asanas, and this asana is Pishmasana, so seated forward fold. And we just gently want to lengthen forward, drawing the chest towards our legs, towards our toes, and allow the eyes to draw down at the last moment. But if you know that you're quite tight through the lower back, maybe into the hamstrings, and then just allow your eyes to stay beyond the look of your toes. So as soon as you drop your eyes, sometimes some people really round into that upper back, and then that will shorten that space. So just breathe and allow the eyes to stay. So when you're ready, we'll roll back up and just gently bounce into the knees. We're going to cross the legs with the other leg in front. So maybe you've remembered. I'll come back facing you. I even had the wrong leg in front. So sitting tall again. This time we're going to take a twist. So we'll start, doesn't matter what side, we're going to do both. Start taking opposite hand to the knee, other hand behind. Now when I say behind, place it towards the floor so that you can sit up nice and tall. Soften into the shoulders and then gaze around to the shoulder or the arm that's behind. Now often when we do our twists, what I notice a lot of people do is they'll twist around and they'll go, yep, made it. And slowly on the next exhale, just unwind. Let's take a twist to the other side. So opposite hand to the knee, other hand behind, close to the body. So you can lengthen up, sit up tall, soften the shoulders down. Inhale, maybe turning the eyes back to the front a little. Exhale as you sigh the breath out, twist behind. Inhale and exhale. And then slowly coming back to the front on the exhale. Hands in front, soften the shoulders. Release forward on the exhale. You can just continue to pause and hold here without holding the breath. Just slowly release, gently lengthening forward. And then again gently roll back up, coming back up to seated. So we're going to lengthen back into that seated forward fold again, but just do a variation. So I'll come back around so that you can see me. We're going to keep with our knees bent. So if you found having your legs up stretched quite challenging, what you can also do is have those knees bent. And so from there, hopefully you can draw your knees towards your chest. If you have to take the knees apart to do so, you can hold on to the toes. Ideally have your knees in. Don't panic if you can't do that. Have your knees in and then just gently walk those heels out as far as it feels right for you. So that might be enough, where you really get a nice long stretch into your hamstrings. What I want you to do is just walk the heels out as far as it feels right, keeping the knees a little bit bent. That's absolutely fine. Soften the shoulders and then really encourage, again, the chest towards the toes, like we did before. So we're avoiding that rounding into the upper back and we're trying to draw forward with our stomach over our thighs, our chest forward, and softening and lengthening, and again allowing the eyes to look beyond the toes or maybe fold forward down to the legs. Big deep breaths. Slowly release, letting go with your hands, rolling back up and just gently bouncing out the knees. We're going to come up into a standard forward fold, so you can either cross your legs, push yourself up and come around with your toes tucked that way, or if that's too strong and challenging for you with your legs bent, just swivel your legs behind and come on up this way. So we'll remove our blanket or our cushion just for the moment. Your hands are now under your shoulders and your knees are going to be under your hips. We'll tuck our toes just for the moment. So we're going to sink our weight back towards our heels, opening up into the other thigh. We'll lengthen the arms out a little bit further. So really expand into the rib cage and feel that space that you're opening up through your ribs, through your shoulders. Now because we've been doing lots of sculpt and lift and kickbox and fit, you're going to be feeling sore in many places, so just remember to breathe. The more you breathe during your stretches, the better result you will get. So breathe. Try not to get to the end position and go, oh, I made it, and hold the breath. Let's just gently continue to breathe. So we'll lift up, lengthen through the arms, and then slowly inhale, round into the spine, arch into the back, curling, lengthening, transferring that weight forward, Soften through your shoulders, lift into the heart. So you can be as creative or as dynamic through this as you like. If you are finding you've got a little bit of a tender back this morning and you don't want to go too far, then just pause, just go here, and then lift up, and then just go here. That might be enough for you. But if you've got that creativity and that movement, sink the hips back. Let's pull the pants up a little. My t-shirt short today. Inhale up, and then transfer that weight forward and lower through your hips and pelvis. Lift into the eyes. Inhale up. Exhale back. Inhale up. Exhale forward. Inhale up. Exhale back. Inhale up. Exhale back. Now remember the other day we said try not to have too much weight onto the heel of the hands. So see if you can really keep that weight through the fingertips and the ball of the hand, not just into the wrists on the heel. Soften through your shoulders, lift into the eyes. Gently round, sink the weight back. Last time, as you transfer forward, soften the shoulders down, lift into the eyes, squeeze through the buttocks, and then gently come back onto all fours. You're going to walk your hands back towards your knees, tucking your toes again, just like we did before. We're going to come on up. So what we'll do is from here, just gently lift up onto your toes. So lift the knees off the mat, and then from there, just gently lower down with your heels as you lift into the hips and buttocks, coming into a standing forward fold. So relax and dangle with your arms. Now it really doesn't matter how far down your arms go. If you can keep your knees bent, that would be better for the moment. So just relax and soften through the upper body. Allow the body to fold forward or collapse over the legs. Soften through your head, your neck and your jaw. Often there's a tendency to lift with your head. And just notice by doing that, in fact, let's do that for a moment. Let's lift with the eyes towards the front of your mat or the top of your mat. And just see how that feels for you in the neck, the top of the shoulders and down through your back. And now draw your eyes down towards your legs. And just notice what happens, especially if you exaggerate that look up towards your belly. And then lift with the eyes again towards the top of the mat. See how that feels? See how it strains into the upper back? And then release forward and just relax the head down. So now what we want to do is just relax the head to a point where it feels most comfortable. It's just hanging. See if you can straighten into the legs a little bit more. We never lock the legs. By that I mean we never have the legs straight lock. Always keep them just a little bit soft. So just straighten into the legs just a little. Still hanging with that upper body. Taking your weight forward towards your toes, back towards your heels. It's a subtle movement, forward towards the toes, back towards the heels. And then just in that central point, just relax. Notice that the toes are spread wide. You've got an even weight from the inside big toe to the little toe to either side of the heels. Now I'm quite flat-footed and I know that my arches collapse inwards, so I have to consciously think about lifting that arch space up into my inner thigh, into my inner foot. Now remember, if your feet are a little bit close together, or a little bit further apart, here's a good opportunity to bring your hands together and check the distance of your feet. Remember we talked about bringing your fists together and placing them between the arches of your feet to work out your hip width. It's often a good alignment between your toes, your knees to your hips. So from here, keeping the knees soft, draw your belly button back in towards your spine and then roll yourself all the way up to standing. See if you can stack each and every vertebrae one at a time as you roll all the way up. Gently rolling, curling, releasing. We're going to sweep the arms when you get all the way there. Raise, lengthen, interlock your fingers, turn the back of the hands to the sky, extend up. So I've got my arms lengthening upwards. You can bring your head right back so that the arms are either sides of the ears. Let's squeeze through the thighs, the buttocks. Take the arms up a little bit higher as you've moved into a little bit of a back extension. Reaching up And then as you bring your arms back, your head back, let go with the hands, float the arms down. Just slowly take the arms down as slow as you can. Staying soft into your knees, tuck in with your chin. You're going to roll forward again. Roll all the way down. So just gently rolling, releasing, dangling, hanging. Sigh that breath out. Okay, so from here, just gently take that right hand to the outside of your left leg. Now, the lower down the leg, the better, but if you're quite comfortable having it on the outside of the knee or the calf, that's absolutely fine. So you've taken that right hand to the outside of the left leg. Left hand, let's bring it to our hip. From here, we're going to lift up with the upper body just a little and twist around to the left. So just soften through that shoulder. Now, if you wish, you can slide that right arm down, but continue to open back through the left side of the body. Breathe. And then just slowly fold yourself forward and down, release. So let's twist around to the other side. I'll stand front on. Left hand to the outside of the right leg, right hand to your hip. And then from here, just gently lift up through that upper body. Taking a twist to the right. You can slide that left hand down the right leg a little further if you like. Breathe. One side may feel a little different to the other, so just be kind as you breathe. Notice the differences. And then slowly exhale as you release. Come back to your forward fold. Relax and dangle. Again, roll yourself up. Belly button draws in. And then rolling. Curling. Stacking each and every vertebrae. Coming up with your head and your shoulders last. And then again, raising up into the arms. This time bringing the palms together. And we'll step the feet together. So both arms are either sides of the ear. I actually, in this one, quite like to interlock my fingers and just point with my index finger. So I've got my thumbs interlaced, my fingers interlaced, but the index finger is pointing straight up to the sky. So we're now going to take the arms over to the right and the hips to the left. So just gently extend up into the arms, turn the eyes to the right, open through that right side of the body, breathe. Really trying to extend outwards through that right side of the body. Oh, I said take your arms to the right, haven't I? I've gone to the left. I am so sorry. So I've gone to the left. So if you're over on the right, you're going to be turning your eyes to the left, challenging your arms out to the right, opening through the left side of your body. Apologies, everyone. Left and rights. This often happens if I haven't had much to eat before my practice. Slowly inhale up. And we'll go to the other side. So we'll take you over to the left side this time. Gently lengthen over. Also goes to show I'm human. We all have our left and rights around the wrong way sometimes. I hope you'll bear with me. And then slowly, gently drawing up as you come back up to center. So hopefully you've been both sides. Float the arms down. Step your feet again just a little bit further apart. Now just gently roll your shoulders. I love flexibilities. I'm all about lots of movement through the joints. So I'm taking you very gently this morning, just on a very slow and easy and gracious workout, just to open up through the body so that you can begin to understand how I talk, the moves, and we'll continue to build up and get a little stronger. So now bring your hands onto the lower back and draw those elbows right in towards you, or towards each other. So the elbows are going back. You soften through your knees, so you're just gently soft into the knees, elbows back, lift into the eyes just a little, open through the front of the spine, and then just gently release. From here we're going to interlock your hands around the front, draw forward through your shoulders, open and expand between the shoulder blades, draw forward through your knuckles, your elbows tuck in with your chin, and then just slowly release. So just gently come back up to centre. Now, just being kind through your head and neck space, we're going to interlock our hands, and no previous neck injuries. If there has, just be very kind. We're going to bring our hands onto the back of our head. Oh, I've got a hair clip in today. Bring your elbows in, so instead of them sticking out, we're going to have them in at about your shoulder width apart. Just standing comfortably and just draw your head down, opening into the neck space. Remember to breathe. And then just release. So if you had any previous neck injuries, you can always do that without the hands. This time interlock your hands down behind your back. So squeeze those arms towards each other again, lifting right in towards the heart space, drawing your eyes to the sky, squeezing the shoulder blades in. Now we're going to open up through the neck again. You're going to take your hands around, keep them interlocked, and take them around to the left side of your back. So you should be able to see what I'm doing as I'm facing away from you. We'll take the left elbow, and instead of it sticking out the side, tuck it in behind you. You're now going to take your left ear towards your left shoulder. Now for some of you, you might need to tuck your chin in towards your chest, or maybe take it up to the sky. Find that sweet spot for you between that right earlobe and down to your right shoulder. Just find out where it is so that you can have your ear over to the side and that you're able to breathe, giving a little bit of space. Continue to keep that left elbow back. Brilliant. And then just slowly bring your head back up to center. We're going to take the hands apart, but interlock them again with the other hand swapped around in front, with the other fingers in front. So you'll naturally clasp your hands together one way, see if you can clasp it the other way. You're now going to take your arms over to the right, and again, take that right elbow back, and then your right ear to your right shoulder. So I'll come back around to the front. We've tucked that arm right behind, and draw your right ear to the right shoulder. And again, play around with what space feels right for you, whether it's taking the chin up a little bit higher, which is where it feels good for me, but maybe for you it's taking the chin down, turning the chin a little. Just play around with it. See what feels right, but be kind. I talk a lot about tuning into your own body, being kind, breathing with grace and ease, and just listening to what's going on for you today. You know, we're all on our own journey, and we've all got things going on, whether it's mental, emotional, or even a physical ailment, possibly from one of Co-Pi's amazing workouts. So just be gracious to yourself, be kind, and do what you can, but remember to breathe. So from here, just letting go, just shake up through your hands, flicking through your hands, flicking them in and out, up and down. Taking your hand, you're going to flick it out to the front and pull down through your fingers, opening through your forearm into the wrists, and then over to the other side. Beautiful. And then just relax, checking it out. So come and stand towards the top of your mat. We'll keep going into a little bit of a flow, just so you get a bit of an idea of what we can lead into, and keep going. So again, have your feet your hip width apart. Arms are down by your side. This is called Tadasana. Now, you've been introduced to a correct postural alignment. We want to remember that the knees stay soft. Instead of sticking the buttocks out, we're really going to try and tuck that tailbone down. So you're slightly tilting into your pelvis. You're spreading the inner thighs wide. You're opening the shoulders. And depending on your work life, maybe in your past career or not, or maybe we're sitting there reading books to your children and holding your babies, we really want to open and expand into our shoulders. So think of that as an up and back and down through your shoulder blades, turning the palms forward. So soft into the knees. We'll raise the arms up to the sky. Exhale, we're going to fold forward all the way down. See if you can keep the knees soft, folding down. Releasing the eyes towards the legs. Fingertips are in front of the toes with the knees bent. Inhale, raise the eyes so you can bring your hands towards your shins. We've lengthened into the spine. Exhale, fold forward, hands down either sides of the feet. We'll step back with our right foot, so a big deep lunge. Now this time we're going to take that right knee down to the floor. Keep our weight forward. So one of the spaces that humans just tend to be really tight is our hip flexor. So you should notice this on your right hip flexor. The hip flexor is the space in front of that, at the top of the right thigh and before your belly. It's the connection of your hips, and hip flexors are really tight. So if you're new to this 30-day challenge, you might start feeling it in your glutes, maybe in the hamstrings, the quads, and especially into the hip flexors, as well as probably your shoulders and a few other places too. So be patient. Be patient with the breath, be patient with the exercises, and just allow your body to ease into it. So I'm just holding it here without holding my breath. I'm talking too much, but you're hopefully breathing in and out through the nose. So from here, we'll actually lift up with our right knee. Take your hands back, and we're going to slide that leg back into your plank. Now remember, you can be on your knees if that's easier for you. Don't be afraid to lower down onto the knees. So we're just pausing here for a breath, and then we do lower down anyway. And then just sink back. So we'll come all the way back, and this is called the extended child. Sigh that breath out if you have to. It's okay to breathe in and out through the mouth. It's just better to breathe in and out through the nose. But sometimes the body asks you to just have a big deep sigh, and it's okay to sigh the breath out through the mouth. So from here, we're going to keep our hands where they are, keep our chest as low as we can, slide our body forward and through. So the forearms are on the floor, and then the elbows will lift, sliding forward and through, coming onto our belly. Bring your forearms forward, under the shoulders, lift into the heart space, squeeze through the buttocks, the thighs, and then just gently lower back down. So let's bring our hands with our elbows out to the side. Golly, have I really been talking for 30 minutes? I can do this sometimes. Let me just finish off. I'm not far from the end, so let me just finish off with a wee twist for you. Tucking your toes, and then just gently taking that right toe on top, gently allowing your heels to twist over to the left as you turn your eyes to the right. Slowly, when you're ready, we'll raise the heels back up. Take the right toes down, left toes on top, and then heels over to the right. I did the wrong side again, didn't I? I've got my heels off to the right this time. I've really lost my left and right this morning. Apologies, people. Slowly coming back up to centre. And then from there, toes come down, hands come under the shoulders. Head stays low. Let's gently push back into what's called our child's pose, Balasana. Gently fold, bringing your arms under your forehead, or maybe you like to bring your arms behind. Having the arms behind is fine. Just watch that you're not, you're not floating up in space. If your head doesn't quite reach the floor, it is best to have some support under the head. So keep your arms in front unless you're comfortable by taking the head down with the arms back. So this was really what I had for us today, gently drawing up. I can continue on and do some flows, but I wanted to just introduce you to a few ways of how I talk and what we will do, and we'll continue to work a little bit stronger. You let me know what else you want, otherwise I'll just keep flowing and keep going. But to finish off, you can either stay here, just into kneeling, and just sit in prayer, or if you prefer to come back into your lotus pose, or legs crossed, then by all means do that, and just sit for a moment. Now again, we've all got such busy lives, and as new mums, as old mums, we need to take this time out. So if you can, give yourself at least 30 seconds, maybe a minute, of just sitting quiet, whether you've got your hands into prayer in front of your heart, whether the hands are onto the lap, that's absolutely fine, palms turned up, or hands resting into the lap. Just see if you can quieten through your body, through your eyes, through your mind, noticing whatever thoughts come into that mind or that mental space. Acknowledge them, allow them to enter, and then when you are ready to sigh the breath out, just exhale the thoughts away, allowing the mind to be a little quieter just for this moment. Inhaling through the nose, exhaling out the nose. Thank you so much for joining me this morning. Here's my dog again. Apologies for the left and the rights. Apologies for running a little longer, but hopefully you can find the time to incorporate this into your practice. And I promise to honour the 20-minute sessions, as we are all busy people and we need to fit this in when we can. Have a beautiful day, everyone.